Smoke was still rising from shattered cities when Frieza finally decided to leave his spaceship. He floats above the ground, pressing a finger on his counter, searching for any power levels nearby. Nothing was even above 1,000, but then his counter chirps for a moment, the number rising into the tens of thousands before dropping. That's when Frieza realizes the Earthlings had been hiding their power levels all along. They were just like him, in a way, creatures that could use lower forms that suppressed their true power, or so he thought at least. The Galactic Emperor was enraged by the thought that his ideas could be copied by inferior beings, but before he could do anything else, Yamcha, Tien, and Krillin land in front of him. The three Earthlings aren't stupid, they know their chances aren't great here, but with Raditz, Piccolo, and Goku far away, they are Earth's only hope. Frieza announces himself as the ruler of the universe and explains he heard about the Dragon Balls from Vegeta's counter. He promises to only enslave Earth, not fully destroy it, if they give him the wish he wants. That, and give away where Vegeta had gone to. Krillin stutters, trying to talk his way into gaining time. Vegeta? He's not on Earth, he left over a month ago, and hasn't returned. Isn't he your subordinate? Either way, Frieza looks surprised for a moment, but then lets out a no matter. I still need the Dragon Balls, he says. The humans hesitate for a moment, leading Frieza to just yawn, shooting a death beam towards Tien, who barely dodges it. Yamcha bursts forward at full speed, striking first to dash a tyrant's reactions. Tien follows from the opposite side, using his multi-arm form to attack from every angle. Meanwhile, Krillin rises above them, preparing his Kamehameha. Tien and Yamcha evade attack, just as it erupts, hitting Frieza square off. The shockwave ripples through ruined streets. When the smoke clears, Frieza stands with barely any scratches. Yamcha grits his teeth, shouting "Wolf-Fang Fist" as he went for another barrage, but this time Frieza just grabs him by the neck, slowly applying pressure, demanding for the Dragon Balls once more. "Destructo Disc!" Krillin shouts, the spinning disc of Ki flying at high speeds. Frieza just shoves his tail in front of it, trying to stop the attack, but it slices through his tail. Frieza's eyes open wide as he releases Yamcha and manages to dodge the second hit, avoiding being cut in half. As the severed limb hits the ground, Frieza stares at it, without speaking. His expression tightens for the first time in the battle. "You've made this inconvenient," he says, veins bulging out of his face, and then his body begins to change. His frame stretched upward, muscles bulging, horns curving toward the sky as his powers surge violently past 1 million. The atmosphere distorts around him, and the humans feel their earlier momentum collapse under their own weight. Yamcha manages to block an arm flick, but it still sends him crashing through layers of concrete. Tien absorbs a backhand that nearly knocks him unconscious, and Krillin avoids a death beam that carves a canyon across the horizon. Just as Frieza goes to finish them, Piccolo arrives, landing between them. He is terribly outmatched. His full power is at most 1/4 of Frieza's, but he still needs to try. He rushes in, immediately punching and kicking Frieza. The Emperor doesn't even move, tanking the attacks with a smirk. But then, Krillin shouts, "Solar Flare!" Frieza is blinded, and just a moment later, he hears the sounds of energy rippling through the air. He immediately recognizes it as the attack from just now, leaping over it to dodge it. Enraged, Frieza unleashes a beam of Ki towards the Z-Fighters. Krillin and Yamcha use a Kamehameha to block it, while Piccolo uses a Masenko and Tien the Tribe. The attacks collide, ripping the rest of the city apart, pulverizing the ground beneath them. When the smoke settles, a city that once had the population of millions now had only 5. Frieza laughs, saying he's really enjoying terrifying them. for their acts of defiance. However, before he finishes, Raditz lands in front of him. "Good to see you, Frieza," Raditz says with a smirk. A vein pops on Frieza's forehead. "Who do you think you are calling like that, monkey?" Raditz just laughs before raising one hand skyward, condensing the energy into a brilliant artificial moon that floods the battlefield with blinding light. His body responds instantly. Fur erupts across expanding muscle. His frame multiplies in size, the ground crushing beneath his weight. And just like that, the great ape roars into the sky, his power exploding beyond 8 million. The kind of strength only spoken in the Super Saiyan legends. Frieza's counter didn't work by now. It stopped registering around the million mark, and anything else was just registered as noise. He scoffed, breaking it, and watched himself at high speeds hammering into Raditz's chest. What followed were guttural laughs of a primal beast that slapped Frieza away like some insect. The Emperor tries to get up, only to be stopped over and over again, reshaping the landscape further. After a whole minute, Frieza rises from the crater, laughing through a broken body. His bones twist again, mutating into a sleeker yet more monstrous form this time. Spikes extend from his skull, and his speed increases dramatically. This is Frieza's third form, and he vanishes from sight, appearing in front of Raditz's chest, punching it with all he had. However, it felt like hitting an unstoppable wall. Raditz roars, grabbing Frieza with his hands, slowly crushing the Emperor. Frieza releases a beam from his eyes, making the beast release him. However, it does no meaningful damage. The battle escalates into chaos, Raditz's overwhelming strength against Frieza's cunning. Meanwhile, Goku finally arrives at King Yama. Kami immediately pulls him back to Earth and gives him a short debriefing of the situation. The Saiyan warrior doesn't question him, and instead flies to Korin, getting a pouch of senzu beans, and in under 1 minute he catches up with the others, distributing the senzu beans with his wounded friends. Only after that he finally looks at the ensuing battle, measuring the gap between him and the others. Goku's power level had achieved 110,000 without the use of Kaioken. It was a respectable amount, but when compared to Frieza or Raditz, it was nothing. The battle continues, with the great ape fully overpowering the Emperor, smashing him into the earth over and over again, blasting off the surrounding landscape. However, after all is done, Frieza laughs. "You should have killed me when you had the chance, monkey." His body shrinks into a smoother, more refined form, yet his power skyrockets. Frieza in his final form stands quietly beneath the artificial moonlight, smaller than before, yet irradiating power that eclipsed everything the Z-Fighters had ever seen. The atmosphere bends under the pressure, suffocating all those nearby. Suddenly he vanishes. A single punch caves into Raditz's abdomen, making him stagger, and a concentrated blast tears through his shoulder. The great ape roars in pain, the power advantage he had simply evaporating. Goku, not able to just watch his brother die, activates Kaioken times 10 and surges forward, landing a punch that actually manages to move Frieza back half a step, but then the tyrant just smirks and swats Goku aside with effortless force, sending him flying backwards into the debris. Goku manages to get up, wounded and battered from a single slap. He realizes that the only way to defeat Frieza will be with the Spirit Bomb. So he begins to prepare himself. He tells his friends that he needs time to prepare the attack, that they need to distract Frieza so he can do it, and this is their only chance. The Z-Fighters nod, and Yamcha launches himself at Frieza with everything he has, just before the Tyrant unleashes a death beam to Raditz. "Wolf Fang Feast," he cries out, striking repeatedly at high speeds. The strikes do no visible damage and are barely strong enough to be noticed, but the distraction keeps Raditz alive for a few more seconds. Frieza just moves his head, annoyed, then points at him, and without a single word, a death beam pierces Yamcha's chest. He is flung backwards, being caught by Tien, who Goku shouts they needed all the Saiyans to be, but when he finally looks at Yamcha's wounds, he realizes he's already dead. His whole chest had been blasted off like he was an insect. Krillin's scream echoes across the battlefield as he unleashes a barrage of destructo discs. One grazes Frieza's cheek, drawing blood and igniting fury. Tien grits his teeth, laying down his friends, and flies up into the sky. He powers up, concentrating all his life's efforts into a single attack. Neo, try beam, he shouts, the catastrophic blast erupting all around Frieza, pulverizing what was left of the landscape and shaking the planet itself. This was Tien's best shot, and after that he falls out of the sky, unconscious. A ray of ki passes by him, nearly killing him, but Piccolo arrives just in time, stretching his limbs to get him out of the way. Goku closes his eyes, having seen one of his closest friends die just like that. Just one more minute, everyone. Please survive, he shouts, doing his best to concentrate, since there's no time for feelings. Frieza rises from the smoke slowly, still alive and angrier than before. Krillin, however, uses the opportunity to blind him with a solar flare and fully commits, unleashing another barrage of destructo discs. This time, he manages to slice cleanly through Frieza's torso, separating him in half. However, even dismembered, the tyrant retaliates instantly, killing Krillin with a ki attack. Goku, now stunned, starts to lose control over the spirit bomb, the energy shifting and becoming unstable as his best friend had just been killed. And the worst? Krillin had already died once, so there was no coming back. Frieza now turns to Goku, but before he could kill him as well, Raditz stomps on him, trying to crush what remained of the Emperor under his foot. It seems to work for a few seconds, but then energy surges from the wall as the severed tyrant retaliates, blasting off Raditz and destroying the artificial moon. The Saiyan shrinks midair, reverting to his base form with his body already burned beyond recovery. Raditz's vision fades as he looks toward Goku. I hope you become the Super Saiyan, Kakarot, he says before Frieza kills him without hesitation. Goku's hands tremble as he struggles to keep the spirit bomb stable above him. The massive sphere of energy flickers violently, reacting to the turmoil in his mind. Yamcha was gone. Tien was barely clinging to life. Krillin destroyed without even a second to react. And now even his older brother was dead. Goku stares down in disbelief, almost expecting his friend to jump back with some nervous joke and laugh like he always did. But nothing happens. The energy of the spirit bomb trembles above him, the life force of an entire planet unstable and threatening to explode. Frieza floats in the distance, his severed body barely holding together, yet his expression remains amused. Even on the verge of defeat, the tyrant finds entertainment on the destruction he has caused. Oh my, was that one important to you? He mocks. Goku tightens his fists until they crack. You killed him. His voice isn't loud. It's not filled with rage, yet it's quiet and broken. Frieza chuckles at the response, completely unfazed. Yes, and I'll kill the rest of you just the same. As the words set in, something inside Goku finally gives in. Rocks begin to lift from the ground as the air vibrates around him. Dark clouds swirl in the sky and erupt in thunderstorms. His body shakes under the pressure of something ancient, awakening deep within his Saiyan blood. A scream tears from his throat, raw and uncontrollable. It carries years of pain, of struggle, and the crushing grief of watching his friends fall one by one. His hair begins to rise and ignites to gold. A massive shockwave explodes outwards as the transformation completes, and the air itself felt heavier now, charged with a power that didn't exist moments ago. Goku finally lifts his head, his eyes open, glowing green. The legend of the Super Saiyan had finally been realized. Frieza is stunned, gasping in front of the myth, yet Goku realizes his power is not nearly enough. Even after the power boost, he needs more, much more. Above him, the unstable spirit bomb continues to shift violently. It's indeed a powerful attack, but not enough. Instead of unleashing it, Goku pulls it back to himself, forcing the energy into his own body. For a brief moment, everything seems to freeze, but then his aura detonates outward like a star going supernova. The energy multiplies violently inside of him, blasting beyond 100 million as the golden aura roars across the battlefield. Goku vanishes, reappearing in front of Frieza in the next instant, his fists driving straight to the tyrant's torso, shattering what remains of his body and sending fragments of energy scattering across the sky. There is no rage left in Goku's expression now, only a drive to finish this as quickly as possible. Every movement is precise, striking with the intent to kill. A kick crushes the tyrant's skull, a punch obliterates his remaining arm, and the final blast engulfs him completely. Moments later, the energy fades. Where the Emperor of the Universe once floated, there is nothing left, only scattered light dissolving into silence. The battle is over, yet Goku does not celebrate. He floats there in silence, the golden aura flickering around him, staring down at the battlefield below where his friends paid the price for his victory. If you enjoyed this story, leave a like and subscribe. It really helps this channel grow. And if you want to know what fate awaits the Z Fighters, stay tuned for the next part. Until then, 2 cool videos should be appearing on your screen, so make sure to check them out.